Galaxy Zack. Hello, Nebula. Chapter 7, 8, and 9.
Chapter 7 Yippee Wah Wah. Hi, said Jack. Then he raised his hand and moved in a circle just like his dad had done in the spaceport. Okay, class, let's begin with today's history lesson, Miss Rudolph said. She sat and then began typing. There he is with his hand, making the circles. Zack stared at the small screen in front of him. How do I get this thing to work, he wondered. A Nebulite boy sitting next to Zack leaned over. Just tap the center of the screen, the boy whispered. Thanks, said Zack, whispered back. He tapped his screen and the lesson appeared. Zack enjoyed learning about the history of Nebulon. After history, they studied math and science. Then the bell rang for lunch and everyone dashed from the classroom. The students boarded a space bus to take them from the classroom to the cafeteria. Isn't that interesting? Look at that bus. No wheels, it flies. They fly to the cafeteria. Zack stepped onto the bus. He saw kids talking and laughing. Zack felt like he was all alone. What am I doing here? He thought. I want to go home. Hey, Zack, there is a seat over here, someone called. Zack looked toward the back of the bus. He saw the Nebulite boy who had sat next to him in class. Zack hurried down the aisle and sat next to the boy. I'm Drake Taylor, the boy said, raising his hand and moving it in a circle again. Nice to meet you, Zack said, doing the same hand movement. The bus zoomed off from its dock outside the classroom building. How long has your family been living on Nebulon, Zack? Asked Drake. Zack looked down at his galactic standard watch. About 18 hours, Zack replied, smiling. How do you like it so far? Drake asked. Parts of it are cool, said Zack. The last thing Zack wanted to do was tell Drake how much he missed home. The space bus slowed to a stop. The doors slid open and everyone ran into the cafeteria. Boy, they're hungry. Zack took a seat next to Drake and looked around. Hey, where's the lunch line? Zack asked. Where's all the food? You will see, Drake replied. Just then, a line of robots came marching through the door. They all were tall, skinny, and metal. Each of them pushed a cart filled with food. A robot walked over to Zack and Drake. Zack read the choices. I'll have the super mac and cheese, he said. The robot picked up a steaming plate of food. It set the plate down right in front of Zack. And I will have the jam and jelly sandwich, please, Drake said. After Drake got his food, the boys began to eat. So, Zack, what did you do for fun on Earth? I really like going bike riding with my friend Bert, Zack replied. I, too, like to ride my bike, Drake said. Maybe we could ride our bikes together. Yeah, okay, Zack said. How about we ride together today after school, Drake asked. All right. When lunch was over, the space bus arrived to take everyone back to class. Zack and Drake took their seats. That's really cool. Yippee, wah wah, Drake said. My favorite class is next. Zack stared at his new friend. I have 2 questions, Drake, he said. What's your favorite class and what does yippee wah wah mean? Drake laughed. Zack started laughing too. Planetology is my favorite class, Drake replied, and yippee wah wah is what Nebulite kids say when they are happy. I love studying planets and stars too, said Zack. He was happy that he'd met Drake. Looks like I made a new friend, he thought. Looks like it. Chapter 8, Zoom Zoom. The rest of Zack's school day flew right by. He really liked planetology. He learned about planets and stars and he had never ever heard of on Earth. When school was over, Zack's mom arrived to pick him up. Zack walked over to the car with Drake. Charlotte and Kathy were already inside. Mom, this is my new friend Drake, Zack said. Hello, Drake. It's very nice to meet you. And these are my sisters Charlotte and Kathy, Zack said. Hello, Drake said. Hi, Drake. Nice to meet you, the twin said. Do they talk like that all the time, Drake whispered. All the time, Zack whispered back. Zack got into the car. Drake's coming over later to go bike riding, he said. That sounds funny. We'll see you later. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Time passes. We're home, Mom announced as the car pulled into the garage. Zack was so excited about going bike riding, he jumped out of the car and pulled his bike out from a corner of the garage. As he got onto his bike, Zack saw something speeding toward his house. That looks like Drake, but what's he riding? Zack wondered aloud. Drake rode up to Zack. He was riding a bike. But Zack had never seen a bike like this one. Drake's bike flew just above the ground, and it went faster than any bike Zack had ever ridden. Wow, Zack cried. What kind of bike is that? Drake looked puzzled. It's just a regular Nebulon bike, he said. Wow, you have a really old bike, Zack. No, it's not old, Zack said. I got it for my birthday last year. Drake shrugged. Come on, time to ride. Drake sped off on his bike. Zack pedaled hard. He tried to keep up, but his bike was not fast enough. Drake saw how far behind Zack was and hurried back. Whoa. Their idea of a bike is different, huh? Would you like to try my bike? Drake asked. Sure, Zack said. Zack climbed onto Drake's bike. It really felt like a regular bike. Just hold on tight and press that button on the handlebars, he explained Drake. I will ride your bike. Zack pressed the button. He sped along just above the ground. How fun is that? This is so cool, Zack shouted. I have to get one of these. Zack looked back and saw Drake. He was pedaling Zack's bike and smiling. Drake was far away, so Zack turned around and rode back to his friend. As they rode back to the house, Zack daydreamed about zooming around on his own Nebulon bike. Chapter 9. Surprise! Dad arrived home as Zack pulled up in front of the house. Dad reached into the back of the car and pulled out a big box with a bright green bow. Have I got a surprise for you, buddy, said Dad. Hi, Dad, this is my friend Drake. Hello, Drake, I think you'll like this too. Maybe Dad got me a Nebulon bike, thought Zack. And then Zack heard barking from inside the box. He quickly pulled the lid off. Out jumped Zack's dog, Luna. Luna! Zack shouted. I didn't think I'd see you so soon. Dad smiled. I knew how much you missed her, so I put Luna on the next cruiser to Nebulon. Thanks, Dad. Luna jumped on Jack and licked his face. Then she jumped up on Drake. She almost knocked him over. Look, it's so happy to see his boy. What is that? Drake cried, backing away. Don't be scared, Zack said. It's just my dog, Luna. She's very friendly. Do you have a dog? I've never seen a real dog before, Drake explained. Don't they have any dogs on Nebulon? No, said Drake. I think I saw a picture once in a book. Well, here's something else they don't have on Nebulon, Dad said. He reached into the big box and pulled out 2 candy bars. Chocolate, nutty, crunchy, gooey bars, Zack said. My favorite. Looks like he shared. Dad handed 1 candy bar to Zack and 1 to Drake. Both boys started munching on the treat. Yumzers, Drake cried. Zack laughed. That's what we say on Nebulon when something tastes really, really good, explained Drake. Yumzer, Zack repeated. At that moment, Mom, Charlotte, and Kathy joined the others outside. It's official, Mom announced. I've decided to open a boutique. I'm going to sell Earth clothes to the women of Nebulon. Great idea, honey, Dad said. Yay! Charlotte and Kathy both cheered. Then Zack's hyperphone began to buzz. He pulled it out of his pocket. Hi, Bert, Zack said when the video chat connected. Bert's face popped up on the small screen. Thanks for watching, Luna. She just got here. Cool, said Bert. I wanted to make sure she got there okay. How's life back on Earth? Zack answered. Pretty good, Bert replied. The Explorers Club went on a field trip to Calypso. It was fun. That's so cool. I hope my new school has an Explorer Club too, Zack said. Do you like living on Nebulon? Zack looked at his family, then he looked at Drake and smiled. I miss Earth, he said to Bert, but I think I'm going to like living on Nebulon. And that is the end of the first book of Galaxy Jack. Here's a little sneak peek for book 2, which I'm not going to be reading to you. And that is Galaxy Jack. Hello, Nebulon. Sure hope you can't wait to go to the library to check out your next Galaxy Zack book.